All right, we're now being joined by Tyrell Fortune. We'll start with Steve Jouet.
Tyrell, as always, thank you for the time. My first question is actually something that comes from a conversation I had recently where a fellow reporter referred to you as a guy that's hidden on Bellator's fight cards. Do you feel that way?
Sometimes, I think, there's just a lot going on, and, they have a lot going on with, if you see the moves and pay attention to what Bellator has been doing. So I just think there's a lot going on, and sometimes you can get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Well, do you feel like now you're not being lost in the shuffle now that you're being featured on CBS Sports Network in a main card fight?
Oh, well, yeah, I've been in the main card before, so, it just goes back and forth. It just depends on where you're at, what's going on, who else is on the card.
All right, and how do you rank Said Sowma as an opponent for you?
From what I've watched and what I've heard he's really good everywhere, so I think he'll be well-rounded opponent, and, I'll find out when I get in there.
All right, best of luck Thursday.
Thank you.
Simon?
Hey, Tyrell, looking forward to watching you on Thursday night. The question I have for you today is, after going through some tough outings your last two fights, how excited and how are you looking forward to Thursday night?
I'm extremely excited just to fight, man. I came out of my last fight with, barely, I think it went over barely 3 minutes or 2 minutes. And I was just extremely disappointed because I just didn't get to fight. I felt like I had two performances in a row where I just didn't get to fight. And so that was just kind of nerve-wracking for me a little bit, just to, in more of a mental space. But I came out, right after that fight, I only had 2 days off and went right back into training camp. So for me, it was just, getting back focused, get back to the job and start, evaluating what I need to do next.
And if you are to get the win over Said Sowma, what would that win mean throughout your career?
It'd just be good for me just to get back in the win column and get in the train running again. I feel like I was stalled out a little bit, obviously, with having the loss and then having no contest and not really even being able to push that fight past the first round. So I'll be just happy if I can get in there and the fight can be completed.
All right, Don Corby.
Hi, Tyrell. How's it going? Looking at how the one man who's beaten you is Timothy Johnson, and looking at how things have gone for him after that win, he's now very much considered one of the top contenders in the division. Where do you see yourself in Bellator's heavyweight division, sort of relative to the guys you fought?
I think I'm one of the best in the Bellator division, regardless of where Tim Johnson or anyone is at. Obviously he had a lot of success. I just think that plays more into a storyline as I start my journey back up to trying to get back to the belt. And I think it could be a great rematch in the future if all the cards fall in line.
I have a couple more if that's okay. One is, who wins that fight between Tim Johnson and Ryan Bader in your opinion?
Well, I think Ryan. I trained with Ryan Bader, so I didn't have much time in the cage with Tim Johnson. So, I made one mistake and went to sleep, so it wasn't much to evaluate. But when you look at Tim's Johnson last fight performances with Congo and Mitrione, I think Bader's a way better wrestler than he is. And he's going to have a way better shape than Congo is. So I think Tim's going to have his handful with Ryan just in every category.
And what do you make of this main event? You're just underneath. Obviously, you got a legend in Melvin Manhoef. Some people maybe say he's a bit too old, but have you got a prediction for this main event, seeing the great Corey Anderson come to Bellator against a legend like Melvin Manhoef?
Yeah, I think Corey Anderson's going to get the finish.
Thank you, Woody.
If I had to predict or bet money on it, that's what I would bet.
Thank you.
All right, Rick Sanchez.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
My question is, during this COVID situation, how prepared mentally you are for your fight coming up, and if there's any difficulty changing to the new restrictions or new protocols with Bellator?
For me, COVID didn't really do too much. I got keys to the gym, so I set up my own practice times away from everybody else and do what I need to do still, and never prevented me from getting my workouts in. But the protocols, they don't bother me at all. I'm here to fight. So whatever I need to do to get in the cages, whatever needs to be done.
All right, thank you.
Jay, followed by Lenny.
Hey, Tyrell, welcome back. Having that great start to your career, undefeated, then suffering that first loss, I'm just curious, is the mindset of an undefeated fighter different? Did it shake your confidence suffering that loss? Or on the flip side, did it take any pressure off of you?
I think for me, it helped open my eyes. I started to really depict like where my flaws were, where I needed to change and grow in my game. And if I really wanted to be considered a top contender, what things that I needed to add to my camp and what things I needed to add just to my training regimen. And so for me, it was just more of an eye opener and really evaluating myself. My confidence is still there. I still believe in myself. And so it wasn't really much of, I didn't really pay attention to that in that sense of like my confidence. It was just more like, okay, what am I missing? And I knew, there's a lot of things that played into that loss. And so I just, sat down and evaluated myself and made sure I make better decisions in the future.
What were some of the things you did add coming out of that loss then?
What was that?
What were some of the things you did add to your training, to your camp coming out of that loss?
Neuroforce 1 was the very first thing I went and got, was another trainer, to focus on my weightlifting, my weight, my overall health. I have a nutritionist now who controls my diet, and just started to add those things in because I didn't have them before. It was just me and Trevor kind of doing everything. And I realized, I needed some more help. I needed to go out and actually invest in myself to get myself to the next level.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to this week.
Thank you.
Lenny?
How's it going, Tyrell? How are you?
Good.
So your opponent this weekend, Said, will make his Bellator debut against you. Do you feel like how you've grown up in the Bellator banner, you've had all your fights in the Bellator cage in your professional career, do you feel like that will give you an edge come fight day?
No, I think, obviously I'm comfortable. So I think, maybe just being comfortable and this guy being his debut in Bellator. So he might be a little edgy because of that. But, I don't think that plays too much. That's all up to him if that makes a difference to him. To me, it's just the same. I'm getting in the cage I've been getting into, and I got a job to do.
Thank you so much, and good luck this Thursday.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tyrell. Appreciate your time.